Many people hope to own a home, but many don't know where to start. Then often the fear of the unknown prevents them from taking action. The process of purchasing your first home can certainly be intimidating. I felt it myself, which is one of the reasons I'm so committed to helping first-time buyers navigate and conquer the process. You don't have to know it all. Just take the first step by reaching out to me, and I have a wonderful team of people that will help you and walk you through the process and support you 100% and help you get a great deal for the home that's meant to be yours. So give me a call today and let's just start the conversation. So Aida, I wanted you to come today to just talk with people about the process of home buying. So many millennials like yourself, they want to take the first step, but they're nervous. And I understand, I was nervous, and I was older. I was in my 30s and I was nervous. So it's really scary. And I just think it can be helpful for people if they hear it from you and hear about your experience. So thank you for talking with us today. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Tiffany. I'm so happy to be here. This was a critical time in my life, and it was one of the best times in my life to be a homeowner, to become a homeowner. It wasn't easy, and I had some bumps along the road, but I made it. And December of 2020 was, I won't say the date, but December of 2020 was one of the best days of my life. I was so happy to be able to achieve a significant step in my life and my personal growth and development, just as a person. You know, it was a really fulfilling and amazing experience.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your background, because I think there's a misconception that, you know, if you're able to buy a house, everything's been perfect and you have money coming out of your ears, you know, and you know, just maybe give people a sense of some of what you've gone through. I mean, I'm so proud of you. You're an overcomer and an achiever, and I truly am so proud of you. I get you.
I know.
We just started.
I know. And these are real emotions.
Yeah.
These are real emotions from.
This is real. This is not.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So just give people an idea, because I just think there's a misconception that everything has to be plum pudding perfect.
And it doesn't.
And you have to have a silver spoon, and it's just, you know, so kind of give people a sense of what you've been through.
Sure. So I have come a long way in a lot of aspects of my life. I come from you know, a nice family, you know, two hardworking parents who have sacrificed and supported me from, you know, from when I can remember up until now. I mean, I'm in my 30s and they still support me if I need them. I went to great schools coming up. I graduated from HBCU in North Carolina, and I tried to figure out my life while I was in college, and I've always wanted to be a home buyer. I've always wanted to have something to call my own, but that I don't want to say it was delayed, but it was kind of put on hold when I was in college and I was trying to focus and, you know, do everything I needed to do. And I became a mom in college, and it happened so quickly. And it seemed like my life was, you know, headed down another path because I still had to finish college. I had parents that I had to keep in the forefront of my mind. I had to make a life for myself and for my unborn child at the time. And it was difficult. It was difficult. But I had a great support system at home. I had a great support system in my community in North Carolina where I was. Teachers, even deans that looked out for me and my child. So I was able to finish college with her and actually start a career while I was in college as well as an intern in the federal government. And I stuck with it through trials and tribulations and first work jitters, because before that I worked at Walmart. So if you can think, Walmart to the federal sector are two totally different ends of the spectrum. And I stuck with it because I had a child at this point and I had to graduate. I had to focus. I had to create a life because, my parents had instilled in me, hey, there are good choices, bad choices, good consequences, bad consequences. Like everything, choices are long lasting and life changing. So I remember that. And I had to figure it out. And so I figured it out and got a job, and I was coming back and forth from work and living with my parents, but I always wanted my own, and I didn't have enough money to rent because I wasn't making a lot of money. I was an intern. I hadn't fully, converted over to a full-time federal employee. So I had to make it work. And so I worked 2 jobs. I worked at the government. I worked as a hostess at a restaurant. And I made it work for me and my baby. And I bought my first car that way. My parents were supportive of me as much as they could, but, they weren't doing the like, oh, hey, like, here's our first car as your graduation present. It's like, you have a baby. We have to make sure your baby is okay, so you have to buy your first car. Those types of things. So I did that. I worked realistically 8 to 4:30 in the government, from 5 o'clock to 11 o'clock at the restaurant. So I was gone all day. I didn't spend much time with my baby, and her grandparents on her father's side really helped me out because I just needed an opportunity. I was just a young woman who needed an opportunity, and my baby, she is a blessing and she is the light of my life, and I just had to figure it out, so I didn't look at it as, I made a mistake. I figured out how to turn this into my reality and know that, hey, like, I am here in this situation, I have to figure it out. And so this was a part of my journey. So she kind of propelled me, having her by myself in North Carolina with, her dad was close by. His parents, were able to help me out. I'm very grateful for that. And my parents also stepped in so that I could graduate and proceed with my career and actually make some money. And then I stayed and I worked in different departments around the federal government, and I gained a lot of experience, and, there was always just something missing. And I've always wanted my own. And like I said, I didn't really have a lot of money to go out and rent an apartment because the prices for rent are very high, and single parent renting, I'm literally taking care of another life, including mine. It's a lot in these days and times. So I stuck with it, and I finally took the step one day to see what my credit could help me with, if I was even ready, if I was even,
Okay, so that's a good point that you're making, because I remember we started looking.
Yeah.
Well, I had spoken to you about home ownership, and you were sort of thinking about it, but you were like, maybe we'll just rent for a while. And then we went and started looking at rentals. And I remember one time we went to a place I think it was over in Largo or somewhere. And I remember we spoke with the landlord, and we learned that she owned several homes in this one community. And I remember, I said, well, Aida, you can be that way.
Right.
You can have that too. You can be a homeowner and then rent it out and buy another house, and you can build up. So, at some point, it dawned on you, I'm not mad at this woman, but I can get into the game and not be a person that's paying someone else's mortgage, but be a person that is a homeowner. So
Yeah.
that was a big change.
It was, and I was, I think at the point in which I filled out the application to the young lady, because I had submitted paperwork. I was very happy with the home, and I was, it had a garage and all the things that I wanted in a house that I would have wanted to have purchased, but I didn't feel like I was there yet. And a part of it was fear, because that's a real emotion, and I think a lot of people don't really acknowledge that and say it. Like, it's okay, And when, there were some things that, just like you said, I found out that she or I don't know if it was, I think it was maybe a couple, or they owned, several townhomes in the community. It was near a prime area, near FedEx Field, where the the Commanders play. And, I'm like, wow, this woman is really making a lot of money, and I just figured out that I just had to step out on faith. And if it may not have been what I wanted, I may not have been able to qualify for something like I have now. I didn't know, but I just wanted to at least try. I didn't feel like there was any hurt in just trying. So I then decided to, talk to you about the first step. And, moving forward with your team to help me.
Yeah. And the thing is, the systems are in place, and it's, if you just let the program work. We have a great program that's very nurturing and supportive, from the lender to our home inspectors.
Wow. I'm smiling because you and your team are awesome. From the point where they send you, I remember I think I was driving and I received my pre-approval notice from Danny's group. And I was just like, wow, these are my numbers? What was I scared of for so long, and these were real numbers. And I, also, to your point, when I was looking, and I was just looking on the internet myself, I would see a lot of times realtors won't take you unless you have a pre-approval. Some of them won't take you out to look because, nobody wants to just, lollygag and look at houses. People actually, this is a business. People are in the business of helping folks find a home. And so when I found out that I was, approved, and I was like, wow, this is I don't think I had ever, known that I could attach a number like that to me because I thought, I'm a mom, student loans, just, things that are just, just have to deal with them. And I just didn't think that I was able to qualify, but I was on my own.
Yeah. And I think you've said a lot of your friends think that everything has to be squeaky clean, perfect.
Oh, it doesn't. That is such a misconception, and I wish folks would really not think that way, because that's not reality. I think maybe even you kind of prepped me in the beginning and said, well, let's just let him look at the numbers, and if he needs to tell you what to do in 4 to 6 months,
exactly,
let's just trust him, and you work on it and you do it, so no, it does not have to be squeaky clean. That is so far from the truth.
And I think that's the big message, is that it's worth taking the first step and looking into it.
The first step, just to see.
And so many people I guess they just rent for so long because that's all they know, or that's all they think they can do. And it's worth just looking into, because, I just love when my young homeowners, realize the dream. And, it changes everyone's attitude. Even you, right? You have so much pride in your home. And it's a beautiful home.
Thank you.
And you. Talk about that, just how you feel.
Oh my gosh.
It changes.
I feel every day I wake up. Not that, I'm a person who had low self-esteem before. I've always thought the most about myself. I'm educated, I'm a survivor. I'm a mom, I have someone looking at me, up to me. Although she's almost a teenager. But, she's still looking up to me.
Oh, yeah.
And I show her pictures of, when she was younger and things like that. So I want her to see that it's not always about, what happens to you. It's about how you deal with it and how you move forward. And I want to show her that because that's what my mom showed me and that's what I know. So I feel like, I come home every day and I pull up to my garage in my driveway, and I'm like, wow, like this is my community. This is my neighborhood. And I'm so happy to be a part of it.
Oh, it's a beautiful community too. It's
I know.
nice.
It's so nice. It's
It really
nice.
is nice. Yeah. Yeah. And I just think in terms of just what you've done, you're motivating other people. I mean, when people, you were 30.
Yeah.
You were 30, right?
Yeah. I want them to experience this feeling because it is one that's unmatched.
Yeah.
It's one that's unmatched, something that you can call your own, and people say when you do something on your own, you tend to take care of it better or you tend to cherish it better. And it's true. Like I am down to the specks on the floor, like this is my house. Every nook and cranny, like this is mine. And I don't know, I just embraced it. And there's no place that I'd rather be is, home. So I love it, you know, and I knew it from the first day that we walked in there.
I know, and I told you would.
Oh my gosh, that's another thing. I did not, I heard you, but when it happened, I was like, wow, like this is definitely, this is true. Like this is my home.
Yeah. Like
this is my home. And we had gone, I remember the day like it was yesterday. We had gone to see several properties, and the home where I am now, this was the last one that we went to. And I was like, oh, let's just get this last one, Tiffany. Come on, let's just go. And then we went, and I was like, wait, this is this is it.
This feels right.
This is it. We had seen maybe 4 or 5 that day.
Yeah.
I feel like it was. We had gone to Laurel. We were all over.
Yeah.
And then we ended up in another part of Maryland, and it was, wow. I don't know.
I know, you feel it, and
you do.
Everything, your body language, you're instantly relaxed in the space. Sometimes people, even from the time they pull up, it's just something about it. They feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I always tell people they'll
it's
know,
true.
And you did.
I knew. You were right.
That is wild. That is wild. Yeah. So it's just a wonderful thing that you did it and you're inspiring other people.
Yeah.
I mean, you are. And then, even in terms of relationships and things like that, it's sort of, it changes. Your standards.
The dynamic, they're higher. Yeah. They've always been, elevated, but now it's like, hey, you got to have a plan, you know? And that's the thing. You don't always, because I didn't always have it, but I had the thought in my head, I want to own one day. I want to drive up. I've been driving up to my parents' house for years in their driveway. I wanted that feeling, just to be home and something to call my own for myself and my daughter.
Yeah, and I think as much as your parents definitely talked to you about it, and I talked to you about it, something changed within you where your current living situation, you just needed something more. You were ready for that next step of growth.
Yeah.
So that's why I say it's something that changed within you, and you decided to overcome the fear. And that's what I want, other young buyers to do. Because the fact that you're young and buying, and you've already built up $100,000 in equity.
Yeah.
In a few years. That's real money, and that's what I want people to understand. The equity is real money. If you needed that money right now, you could go to a bank and they would give you a loan. So in the 3 years that you've owned, you have put $100,000 in the bank. So when your daughter's ready to go to school, or if there was a catastrophe in your family and someone needed something, you have something, to tap into.
Yeah.
Also, you can take this and go buy another house. You can.
I plan to.
and then become that landlord.
Right,
you
right.
know? So it just gives you options, which is what we need. I mean, your daughter might need to live in that house at some point, and you'll have another house. It's just, I mean, none of us had silver spoons in our mouths.
Right.
So this is a way for us to build wealth for ourselves and our family.
children, yeah.
And, you know, I'm just so committed to helping young people like you realize this dream. And I mean, let alone we're Black in America,
Yeah.
you know, and the Black home ownership rate is
low.
down. It's low. And, you know, I'm just so committed to doing my part to getting the numbers up, you know, because it's really just education. Like, someone needs to tell you that this is something you should do, you know, and they need to keep telling you.
And that's what I was going to say. I'm so happy that you stayed on me with it, because there were times when, you know, I would be like, you know, I would hear you, but it would just go in one ear and out the other. But, you know, you kind of pushed gently, you know, because you saw the value, you know, and it took a while. But, you know, one day when I walked in that woman's house and I was like, wait, somebody is making money with, you know, it's like a row. She owned like a row, or, you know, a section. And I'm like, wait, I'm getting ready to do what? You know, like, oh my gosh. And then to find something similar to that, but better.
Oh, it was, yours is much nicer than what you were about to rent.
Yes. You know, I think she had like a 1-car, I have a 2-car garage. Like, I don't know. I was just like, I need to get it together. So when I thought about it, I was just like, let's just try it, you know?
Yeah.
Nothing beats a failure but a try.
Exactly. And the thing is, it's like, I feel like as soon as you have a stable income, it's worth it to go do it.
Yeah.
You know, and you did. You had the stable income, and you know, it just, everything worked out. The timing, everything just worked out.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like you stepped out on faith, and everything else just fell into line.
Literally.
You know?
Literally everything fell into line.
Yeah.
It was one of the best times of my life, besides, you know, my daughter and graduating from school, and, you know, but this was like kind of my moment, you know? This was something that I did for me that, you know, I was, you know, very happy to be at the closing table, you know, my mom to the right, you know, you were to the left, the attorney was here. I mean, I remember the setup, you know, and I remember the day like it was yesterday. It was one of the best days of my life. To actually sign for my home.
I know. I am so happy for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, you were wonderful. You were wonderful. Your team.
You have a great relationship with the home inspector even today.
Oh wow! Yes, Scott. I'm not the best with names, but I will not forget Scott. He was very thorough, down to the. I mean, I thought I knew my house. I mean, Scott knows, you know, the layouts. I mean, he is down to the temperature on the washer machine dial. I mean, he knows it. And he goes over everything. And that was very important for a person who is a first-time home owner. You know, I'm just excited. I'm excited, but he's like, you know, let's wait. Let's make sure. Let's check this. Let's, you know, get in the attic. Whatever we need to do, let's do it, you know. And so Scott was very thorough, like 4 hours thorough.
Yeah. I know. And it's like, I want my people to have a good home inspection.
Yeah.
I want them to know. I want them to look at these things that they've never thought about with a water heater.
Yep.
I mean, even myself, I learned something on every home inspection. Yep. So it's really important that, for me, that my people know what they're getting themselves into.
Right.
Know the condition of the property. There may be things that need to be addressed immediately, other things that you put like on a 3 to 5 year list, but at least they know going in what they're going to have to look at in terms of home repairs and things like that. So he's really thorough.
Amazing.
He doesn't miss anything.
He doesn't miss a beat.
So it's just amazing how everything came together with your deal. I mean, my job as a realtor is really to establish a relationship with the listing agent, and negotiate on your behalf to get you the best deal, to get you the best price. And, I asked for the 3% closing cost help, and they gave it to us. Yeah. So it's like everything. You got a great price, you got the closing cost help, you were able to do the FHA financing because the community allowed that. So everything just really, really came together with your financing. And I was just happy that it really worked out.
Yeah, me too, because I think that's when folks kind of get cold feet, when the numbers, don't match up, or, they're like, wait, hey, hold up, they're kind of, retracting back. But to know that, you were able to use your negotiating skills, and they were top tier because I got what I wanted, which was the closing help. And it really helped me because, again, I am a single mother. So every little bit helped. It was less that I had to come out of pocket with. And it just really kind of closed the loop. I was very thankful for that. That was an amazing help. Amazing. I mean, numbers wise, it was half of what I was supposed to bring to the table. So if you could think about the down payment itself and then already having half of that, that was just a huge weight lifted off of my shoulders. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. People just don't realize that,
it can happen. There's some things that,
yeah. We can. It's not as bad as it seems, and we can work it out and try to really get you a good deal and try to get the seller to do what they need to do. Even it doesn't matter what the market is. Every seller's situation is different, so it's just a matter of figuring out where you can get in and just trying to help your client get the most that they can out of the transaction. Yeah. And I just keep going and going and going.
Relentless. No, but it's for our benefit. It's for the home buyer's benefit. So Tiffany, you really do go to bat for us. You really do go to bat, and I know you deal with a lot. I remember when we did our contract, we were at the other office until like 3 a.m. Doing the contract, and I had my baby with us. Like, we got dinner, we went back to the contracting space, and we just worked.
Yeah.
We just worked. Like, you put the contract together and we submitted it because, this was like business that had to be taken care of. So I know you deal with a lot, but no, you definitely go to bat for us. And, it's almost like, it's your closing day too.
I know my clients, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy when they win. I just want them to win. It makes me feel so good. Yeah. I mean, that's really, really why I do this, because it's just a wonderful feeling.
It is. I want folks to experience it with you. So.
I know. And you're motivating people so much by doing this, Aida. Your story is amazing, and so many people, I just want them to know that they can overcome and they can achieve, and just to keep on keeping on.
Keep going.
Dream and dream, and it can be a reality. So thanks for sharing your story.
Thank you for having me. If I had a couple words to say to the folks my age, first-time home buyers who are looking to take the next step or want to take the next steps, but find themselves in maybe I should rent for a little while, or maybe I should just, bypass it, and it doesn't really matter. It does. I want folks to know that you don't have to have a perfect financial history. You don't have to have everything all together. Tiffany has a wonderful team who is very patient, very understanding, very helpful from A to Z, and they will stick by you. They will stick by you if you have questions, if you want to know more about, hey, what does this mean, or what does this mean? I mean, they'll explain it. They'll take their time, they'll explain it. I understand that it is a scary feeling because I was scared. I was terrified
to talk numbers, to talk, to take a deep dive into finances. I didn't think that I was ready, but when the numbers were pulled, it turns out that I was. So I was probably the only person standing in my own way. I just had to take the first step, reach out for help, stick with Tiffany and her team, trust the process, and I was blessed to wake up on Christmas and know that I had a home. And that was one of the best gifts that I could have ever given to myself and to my daughter. So I would just say to stick with the process, trust it, and take the first step. I understand that it could be difficult and you could be scared, but hey, this is you are investing in yourself. And I think that there's no better investment other than to invest in yourself. So go Instone Realty.